plan for us to be here today. Second, I would like to thank the leadership of the school, the principal, and the board of management for welcoming us to perform this in the school. This is my first time here at the Sheikh and subdivision. The principal and the board and the mega class are very made it possible for us also. So thank God most sincerely for us longer here and giving matters education, which is very sensitive. And as we speak, there's quite a bit of issues, emerging issues in the education sector that are not very friendly to education. Therefore, we as stakeholders, this kind of conference of safety have not taken place. We have not been able to meet you like this as my office and you. We did it kissing the diagnostic beginning for the diagnostic account, and we are doing it at the Busia, Roma, Bangware, and Kamega. So we are most grateful for your contribution, both financially and logistics, to allow and make this both possible. And all glory goes to the Almighty God for His mercies to us. Give us life, both mind and soul, and give us the spirit of fellowship so that we can be able to discuss and come up with the way forward in some of the things that are really problematic in our institutions. Because all of us our aim is to be able to pump out of our institutions students who are going to add value, not just to Kenya, but the world in its entirety. But see, the Church of God in South Kenya is one of the oldest and fast-growing national religious fraternity here in Kenya. It sponsors a considerable number of primary and secondary schools inclusive of tertiary institutions nationwide. Our organization was founded on three key pillars. The first pillar was the spiritual pillar, those whose aim was to infuse spiritual and moral discipline among its faithfuls. The second pillar was the education pillar, to enable the graduates to become responsible persons who would add considerable value to Kenya as a nation and by extension, the entire world. And the third pillar was the medical pillar. Whereas we believe in divine healing, this pillar was intended to address physical and mental health to complement God's work of healing amongst these people. At the inception of our fraternity and the course of its growth, so many schools, both primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions, were founded to address the education needs of our faithfuls and others from that they could return and take on the mantle of spearheading Kenya in various capacities as the burden of independence began to be felt. The Gumbaru system of education was initiated to address the issue of basic writing and reading skills amongst the many Kenyan disadvantaged populace. Ever since then, the Kenyan system of education has been evolving. We emerged from the colonial system of education to the 844, and now the curriculum-based education, popularly known as the CBE. Consequently, and in the light of what's currently transpiring in the education sector in this great country of Kenya, may I take this opportunity to highlight the following. One, whereas the transformation of the 844 system of education to embrace the curriculum-based education was a noble idea, it has come with teething problems that require to be seriously addressed. In my view, we were in haste to embrace this system. There was need for the Minister of Education to come up with a research position paper on the CBE system of education and formulate questionnaire which could have been utilized to harvest views that would have been instrumental in coming up with a solid ground upon which this system of education could be premised. This analysis could have taken into account the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats that the CPA system of education was anticipated to pose. This would have greatly minimized the chaotic situation currently witnessed in our education sector. As one of the mainstream church fraternities that sponsors so many primary and secondary schools and tertiary institutions countrywide, we are of the opinion that a participatory approach to effective results-based education would be ideal in resolving the negative publicity the CPA system of education has drawn from a wide range of Kenyans. It would be appropriate for us to critically analyze our CPE system of education and identify the shortcomings in its implementation with a view of fine-tuning it to respond to the fast-changing education landscape in Kenya. This will require extreme sobriety as opposed to just something that will consign us to education programs that will be detrimental to the now and future generations of this country. Remember, political systems come and go, and Kenya still remains an only property that we have been bestowed to go by God to hand over to the ever dynamic, the Gen Z generation. I would like at this juncture also to request the Minister of Education, both at county and national levels, to interact with us as sponsors on all matters of education, and more specifically on transfers of head teachers, principals, in their consequent replacements. The current practice of unilateral transfers of teachers and principals is disadvantaging us as sponsors. We have also currently initiated a program of renaming our schools to affirm our sponsorship of these institutions, and we kindly request our esteemed Minister of Education to work with us in bringing this issue to an amicable conclusion. We, as the sponsors of your schools, are not opposed to posting of a teacher or a head teacher to our schools who is not of Church of God faith. But we request when that is done, that person respects the sponsor's position, the ideals of the sponsor. Because we have had some head teachers, when they come, we welcome them. And then they begin to tremble on the sponsor's direction in the schools. We welcome you to come. But when you come, walk with us. We have never bullied you. You go to other denominations like Anglican and Catholic. You will see what I'm telling you. We welcome all of you on board, but we want you to work with us so that you respect the faith and beliefs of the Church of God in East Africa, Kenya. Secondly, I would like to talk to those who are our representatives to the boards of management. You are there to contribute your views to that board. That's why you are there. You are never sent to that board to sleep. Uende kule kulala, unaenda kule usikize, you contribute, and make sure that the sponsor's position in matters of education, the same, is upheld. And you do it without being afraid, because that's why you are there. And the chaplains in these schools, we want to have a program that gives direction to the schools. A chaplain is not supposed to go to a school on one day, pray on the parade and go away. That's not the purpose of the chaplain. The chaplain is a counselor to the teachers, to the students. For example, in Bunyore Girls, we have a chaplain and they have scheduled days where the chaplain talks to the girls individually and in groups. There's a day also where the chaplain counsels and talks to the teachers separately, because the teachers are going through very difficult time. A teaching profession, because I was a teacher before, is a very difficult position, it's stressful. And when teachers are stressed, they will pass the stress to the students. So the teachers need to be counseled, they need to be talked to. So the chaplain goes to school, counsels the teachers, talks to them, encourages them, and then prays for them. And even the principal, because principals like yourselves here today, you are having a lot of issues. The application doesn't come on time. You have to feed people there. You have to send a student on the road all the time. And it draws sharp criticism. And therefore, that principal who is heading the school, if that principal is disturbed, the whole school will be disturbed. And I would like to encourage you, board members,